I appreciate you saying about your bias that you're in there to try to help them stay together. Because I know some therapists would say they're on the side of whatever is right for the couple,
Mhm.
for even if they need to split up or whatever. But I completely see your bias as well, being like, well, they came here because they want to solve a problem, so I'm going to be on the side of helping them stay together. So what happens in, and maybe if it helps to use some of those Gottman's those four horsemen or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, what do you see in therapy over time with couples where that bias changes and you're like, oh shit, they should probably split up?
You know,
Like,
I try not to go there even in my own mind what they should or shouldn't do. It's very,
okay,
very rare. I mean, in 30 years, how many times have I seen fewer than a handful of times where I have thought, oh my God, well, actually, I brought it up with them. Oh my God, you guys shouldn't be in the same room, never mind in the same house. And then because it's been dangerous and I've had that.
yeah,
And of course, in those circumstances, I won't do couples therapy with them. It's usually
okay,
when there's continuing violence. And
right,
I remember one couple I worked with where, and they're both lying about it to their individual therapists too. There was continuing violence. There was a restraining order that they were violating by showing up in my office, and I wouldn't continue to work with them. And that's a rare circumstance. The other ones, it's I long since figured out. I mean, before my career as a psychologist, way back when I used to be a statistician back in the day. I was my original degree in psychology actually was on the research side, and I was focusing on methodology and statistics. So actually, my first book in 1986, that's how far back we're going, was a statistics textbook. You can still get it on Amazon. It's sort of hilarious. It came with a 5.25 inch floppy disk in the cover,
oh my
of
god,
of software that I wrote for it. Anyway, my old statistical brain tells me I think my guesses as to whether a couple's going to stay together or not are probably worse than chance. I'm often surprised. Like a couple, I'm thinking, oh my God, how are these people going to stay together? And they do. Or a couple that
right,
seems like, oh, you guys are doing fine. And then they split up. And so I don't make those sorts of assumptions. And in
wow,
terms of what you said about my bias, again, my bias is toward helping them stay together if they want to. But I
yeah.
absolutely agree with the notion of no, my work is to do what works best for them.
That's so great that you took notice of that, of seeing that like people that seem like they're in a good relationship and they pull the trigger to get out of it, and other people that are miserable end up staying together. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure there's like all sorts of reasons why. Because the way, I don't know, there's definitely no statistics on it, but just from looking around and things I've read, it seems like obviously half of couples get divorced in the West. Some countries are way higher. I think Spain
A
is
little
through
under that
through
now, by the
through
way,
the
but
roof. Is
closer
okay.
to
So
41, 42%, I think, something like that.
okay, and then I would let's be generous and say 60% of
Mm-hmm.
people are staying married. I would say half of them probably shouldn't be together, and then
Mm-hmm.
the other half are actually in great marriages. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's pretty interesting that you see that like there's no rhyme or reason for people that are coming to you because they're playing out their own family dynamics and whatever they need to heal or sort out. So I really like that.